Some of the national focus shifting from the devastation of Hurricane Harvey to Irma, donations for Harvey relief are likely to slow down. That has some people scratching their heads at the fact that 4 Texas lawmakers voted no on a bill to fund Harvey relief efforts. Austin Congressman Michael McCaul isn't happy with those 4 colleagues.
He called out his fellow Republican lawmakers who voted against an aid package for Harvey victims last week. As KVUE's Jenny Lee reports, there may be a reason behind the public scolding.
And I think it's unconscionable to vote against something like that.
On a cable news show Monday, Republican Michael McCaul had some choice words for how these 4 U.S. representatives voted on a multi-billion-dollar Harvey relief package. Joe Barton of Ennis near Dallas, Jeb Hinserling of Dallas, Sam Johnson of Richardson near Dallas, and Mac Thornberry of Clarendon, a small town outside of Amarillo. McCaul said he didn't want to judge them.
He said, I don't want to call anybody out, but I voted this way as a matter of conscience, and not voting this way was unconscionable, which sort of calls everybody out.
Ross Ramsey is the executive director of the Texas Tribune. He says McCaul was making a point.
And I think it's a shot across the bow for everybody else. Hey, we're all watching, and, we'll all be commenting on how everybody votes.
We reached out to each of the Republican representatives for interviews to see if they would answer why they voted no to Harvey relief in their own state. We were told the congressmen were just too busy. So they sent us statements. Basically, they all read that they are not against relief programs, but against raising the public debt ceiling, another provision of that relief legislation. McCaul said with so many Texans dying and hurting in his own home state, he had to vote his conscience.
How are you guys, okay?
She was clearly, riled up about it.
But Ramsey said this is just the first round of Harvey aid relief, and more votes are expected.
There's going to be a lot more of this. He's not working the vote that's behind him. He's working the votes that are ahead of him.
Jenny Lee, KVUE News.
Now, we want to put this into perspective for you, how much help Texas is getting so far and how much more we still need. Our parent company, Tegna's Texas Cares effort, that raised about $1.4 million. J.J. Watt, Houston Texans star, raised about $32 million. And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce estimates corporations have pledged somewhere around $157 million. But all of that pales in comparison to the $15 billion relief package Congress and the president have already approved. And even that is still nowhere near Governor Greg Abbott's estimate needed for Harvey relief, around $150 billion.